A very good evening. My name is Panneer Selvem anak lelaki Indiran. I'm lecturing in Politeknik Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah. I'm lecturing in IT subjects, majoring in master in computer science and majoring in information technologies. Uh, Today, I would like to present regarding human missteps in cybercrime money laundering. This is a very hot topic nowadays. So we like to see the table of content this presentation. The first, we will explain about the cybercrime. Then we will know about the money laundering, what the money launderers do. And then the third is we will see what's the common human missteps or mistakes that they did so that they be caught as a money launderer. And the fourth is about the cyber security as well. Okay, first of all, about the introduction of the cybercrime. Cybercrime, or as we can say, anything that regards about these scammers, money launderers, mules, cyber criminals, illicit investors, tax evaders, or unlicensed money launderers. So this is the one who can claim as cyber crime nowadays. And then when we see here, the problems over here that we want to bring up is the criminal's error. This criminal, I would like to say it is more on the money launderer who try to use the money to be washed out. So what's the mistakes and the error that they had done? Second, how to capture the usually criminals by their own flaws, the mistakes that they have done by themselves. And the third is how to obviously these criminals get captured for all the intent and purpose by their own blunders when money launderings. So about money launderings, anti-money launderings, AML. Nowadays, AML, actually AML is a combinations of rules, the processes, and the technologies that have been used to capture all these money launderer. So mostly anti-money laundering, AML department, will use most commonly in bank or any other banking institutions as well. So when we say and we try to focus on the money laundering, so what is the method and the pattern usually this money launderer used? We must know that one first. The first is the structuring system. When we see here on the structuring systems means this money launderer try to avoid from this anti-money laundering department or this team to catch up them. So they try to break up the invoice. They try to do the some sort of like currency exchange. They like to use any other method that can reduce the eye of the any money laundering people to capture them. The second is the cash intensive firms. Cash intensive firms means how these people try to put in the money in a small value into few accounts so that they can make sure the AML, anti-money laundering department, they will try to avoid by captured by them. And other than that, they will try to create a shell company. This shell company is means in the terms of they having just create a company. This company didn't do any businesses, but they use this company to trade money so that they can pump in all the black money into this shell account. This means of the shells company. The third is the tax amnesties, means how they try to avoid the tax. Maybe by using their own account, maybe they use a third party account, but not their own business's account. Because once we put all the money, the transaction, normal transaction in the business account, they have to show up and they will have a tax. The fourth, the common things that launderers may use is the trade-based laundering. Trade-based laundering means how they use this black money to pump in into any trading businesses transaction, and then they try to come out the wash money. And number five is the transactions laundering. Transaction laundering, either they use few accounts in the transactions, or they use another mule account. Means even the people that they are using the account, they didn't know that they are being used by the launderer to do all these transactions. So over here, now the very important part. This is the common human missteps, the money launderers missteps in the money laundering. First is they try to put a large cash transaction. These large transactions will be triggered by the anti-money laundering department in the bank or any financial department. The second, we can see the rapid movement of the money. What I say, the rapid movement of the money means the money that been banked in into the account will be transferred out immediately by the launderers, because these launderers, they are concept to put into the money into the bank just for do the transaction. So they will try to take out all the money very fast. This also misstep that will trigger the anti-money laundering. And then the third is early payment on the credit product with a large amount. Okay. The third, when they're having a transaction, they're buying any transaction by using a credit card, then this money launderer try to settle the payment or the debt of the credit card with a large amount, which is never done before. This also will trigger the AML. Number four is the recurrent transfer. Recurrent transfer means the criminal sometimes make an early payment on the credit card product. So this also will trigger, because most of the time, if they used to do the payment, paying payment on the end of the month, but then suddenly they have done it in the early with a big transaction of the amount of the money, then this also will trigger the AML department as well. And number five is inactive account for an individual or personal account not active. This means this account, even sometimes the owner, they didn't know that they been misused their account, because this account maybe the owner didn't use for quite long time, maybe a 6 month, 8 month. Then this money launderer will, maybe they have another way to know which account that they've been used as an inactive. Then they will try to use it as a mule account to do this or the transaction. Number six is the multiple cash deposit in different location at the same time. This mostly will do for the online gaming people. So when the owner of the online gaming, they want to collect the money, they will ask all the people who play the online games to pay the money to a personal account at one time. So from different locations, because it's an online games, right? So they will cash in the money, and this will also trigger out the AML. Number seven is the receiving or transferring a large amount of cash from various individual into a single personal account. Means the money been cash transfer. So most of the time, if a big amount of money been transferred into a single personal account, it will be triggered by the AML also. Number eight is the high frequency transferring money involving small denomination amount. So most of the money laundering thing, anti-money laundering, they will trigger the amount if they put in a big amount. So they will ask all their friends who doing the laundering to put the money in a small amount to their own account, into a single account. Actually, it's also a big mistake. With this account, the accumulation of the amount of the account will be triggered by the AML also. And the number nine is a sudden change in the behavior of the account transaction. it means that maybe this money launderer previously he didn't do any bad activities, but then once he start to do the money laundering, suddenly the behavior of the account. So just say every month he having a maybe 100 USD, he having a 1,000 USD money. So then after he do the money laundering, then he is having accepting the money maybe in 100,000 USD every month or maybe every week. This also will trigger by the AML as well. Number 10 is the overlook mistakes. This always happen when the money launderer, they remark wrongly in the online transaction money. When they do remark on the, just say they said, okay, money transferred on the online. That's some example of keywords. So it also will trigger the AML also. Next, we would like to see about the cross-border money transfer. These money launderers sometimes they will use account, maybe their friends money launder in other countries to do the transaction. They will try to transfer the money to other countries or overseas transaction, and then they try to retrieve back. They will think that this money all will be washing out and can be used as illegal. But actually, when the transaction out and in, it will be triggered by the bank also. And then the 12th is the shell company. As I said previously, the shell company is a company that didn't do any activities or businesses, but they used by this money launderer to wash out the money through that particular company. And then number 13, I would like to say about the avoid taxes by using the personal account. So some money launderer, they would not like to pay the taxes a lot. So they will use acceptance of the business money or the profit to their own personal account so that they can avoid the tax. Actually, the owner of the businesses, they also been triggered by the AML. And the number 14 is the fundraising or the crowdfunding using the personal account. Any fundraising or the crowdfunding is been really clear cut that they must use a account that been created for these particular programs or activities. So any activities that fundraising or crowdfunding, money acceptance using a personal account is already wrong. And next is the early payment on the credit product with a large amount. So it means the early payment on the credit card product. So maybe the money launderer, they try to do a lot of purchases, but not using the black money. So they will use the credit card. They will swipe the credit card. But then after a while, they will try to pay all that debt using a big amount of the for their credit card debt. Next is the insurance transaction by purchasing and surrendering the policy, but it is a very short off period. This is also a new type of pattern that used by the money launderer, whereby the money launderer will buy a big amount of insurance from themselves, and then using the money laundering money, after that they will try to surrendering the policy in very short period. That's the big mistake they did, in a very short period. And then they will ask this insurance company to come out a check to transfer to their account, so that that money that transferred by the insurance company, it will be legalized, used by them. So, another one, last but not least, I can say that overpaid technique on the credit card and request to fund. So this is about the technique that used by the money launderers too. They will try to pay more than what they have spent, and then they will request the credit card company to refund back. So most of the times, credit card company, they will refund the money using the check, will transfer to the money launderer's account. So once the check money comes from the credit card company to their account, that money is considered as legal. So, but then this technique also been caught by the AML. So the conclusion is the very important part. We have to keep an eye on the changing regulatory systems maybe in our bank transaction, our bank account, and then next, essentially upgrade with the new technologies. So every time our systems that we are using, our handphone or mobile or web-based applications, so make sure we always upgrade our systems to the new patches file, because most of the patches file is been upgraded into a new and high level security. And then the third is improve our internal communications. This also important, whereby we have to communicate each other from a person to another person to make sure that this money launderer didn't use our account as a mule account for them. And last but not least, we will say that involve external auditor or monitoring unit in our company, because sometimes this money by adding the external auditors or monitoring units, this will keep a good eye in our company so that this money launderer don't misuse our company for their own sake. Thanks. This is a very good explanation from me about the mistakes that be done by the most of the launderers. And this one, the AML, anti-money laundering department, which have in the banks and the financial departments, is a very important department, because they're the one who try to avoid or capture all these money launderers in our countries. Thank you so much. I'm Panneer Selvem.